guys. Hello, hello. Hey, hey. All right, Aquarians, let's go ahead and jump on in. Um, hey, hey. Good to see you, AC. This is going to be a storyline that I like to do about once every quarter. And the topic here is just more about Aquarius. What makes Aquarius attractive right now? And then we'll ask, and who is attracted to Aquarius right now? By the way, Calm Sea, if you are watching this, I mentioned a song in the Ophiuchus video that is really lovely, really soothing. It is called Shamanic Dream by Anugama, and I think it's spelled Anugama, Anugama. But it's really soothing, really lovely. We have Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is amazing. First off, we got a color wheel. I don't know if Aquarius has a certain energy to them where they are many different like color tones. Maybe they love things that are rainbow shades, or maybe the colors correlate with lots of like personality traits. Right now it's landing on green. Green would be a color trait associated with nurturing, with wealth, with growth, money, matters of health as well. And green, of course, if we're talking about like, when we're driving on the street, green means go. Green light says go for it. With the Wheel of Fortune being here, I think that Aquarius has definitely done some really good works, and they've got some awesome like karma, and that good karma is playing out in their life right now. There is something about them that they are blossoming, they are growing. I think people that look at Aquarius right now are seeing these changes. And I love the fact that we have like all these lights. This feels like somebody's like they've gone to a carnival or some kind of a, I don't know, this has like a very fun, I'm not looking at it as a game show. I'm looking at it more like a carnival vibe to it, where it's kind of like magical at night and all those little round lights are lit. It just feels like there's lots going on. There's lots of, sights and sounds, and all of this says something about the way Aquarius shows up in other people's lives as like this really bright spot. I feel like a lot of people they walk away feeling like they won a prize when they meet Aquarius. They feel like, in the olden days, you go to the circus or something and you saw incredible feats, you saw daring acrobats, you'd see, sometimes unique animals and things like that. And I almost feel like when people experience Aquarius, they walk away going, that was so incredible. That was like, I feel better for having met them. I feel like I just won a prize. I feel like they just dazzled me somehow. But it's also that Aquarius themselves is like blossoming right now. So I do think they're having a glow up. And I do think that Aquarius has some kind of like magnificent news or some things that are starting to show up in their life that are like unusual, positive, kind of unique things that are not happening to everybody else around Aquarius. This is like Aquarius is hitting the jackpot right now. You have an 8 of Cups. There's also an element of Aquarius has done all this on their own. They have possibly changed some things in their life in a really big way, and they're just about to reveal it. They didn't bring anybody else into this project of revamping their life or this glow up, so people are not aware of what they're about to find out when they discover Aquarius has had some significant glow up, some things in their life have changed. They're going to be very impressed to realize, and Aquarius kind of kept this under their hat. They did it themselves. There is an independent streak in this Aquarius that is, I almost feel like this could be one of those really brilliant people who comes up with a plan. They got a patent on something. They don't mention it to anybody. They kind of keep their own counsel. But I feel like Aquarius could have the mind of like an inventor or a philosopher, but they dazzle people once they show what they've been working on, but they kind of keep it to themselves quite a lot. And again, that mysterious energy, like nobody ever knows what's Aquarius up to. I wouldn't be surprised. They will always have like these weird twists and turns in their life story. Aquarius will always have these unexpected things that kind of seem like they blossom out of nowhere. And I think people are kind of dazzled because they wouldn't expect whatever's going on in Aquarius's world, because Aquarius doesn't tell a soul. They just go on about their business. They're inspired to learn about things, cultivate things, and then people find out later what they've been working on. And it's like, when did you do this? You know, I feel like that's a reaction Aquarius might get quite a lot. We have the Devil with the Eight of Pentacles. If Aquarius has recently made a big life change, let's say Aquarius, nobody's perfect, right? But let's say Aquarius has completely revamped their life. Let's say they were in a toxic relationship, and guess what? They're not anymore. They didn't mention to anybody, oh yeah, I've been single for like 8 months. They just didn't say anything, because working through the toxicity, getting themselves free, or this could be somebody who's like revamped their physique, or, oh yeah, I totally stopped, indulging in a substance that was not doing good for my body. I didn't mention it, but now I guess you're seeing me and you can see the difference in me. That's cool. But I just didn't mention it because it was my journey. I just feel like Aquarius has this way about them where when they decide to do something, holy hell, Aquarius follows it to the letter. They can cast off vices and toxicity like nobody's business because they work through it and they do it for themselves. So, and they don't broadcast it. This is a very humble character, but it's also somebody who it doesn't even register on Aquarius's mind that they need to go and, strut around the countryside and tell everybody what they're doing. They're not really like into the showmanship aspect of things. They just kind of do what they think is right for themselves. If they need to end a toxic connection, they do it. They don't really go and tell everybody else about it. They just do what they need to do. If they're going to stop drinking or smoking or doing something, if they're going to change their physique, start working out, lose 100 pounds, they just kind of do it because it's like, well, I did it for me. I didn't know I needed to announce it to anybody. This is just kind of me doing what I want. I love the personal empowerment of this Aquarius. The choices that they make in life, they make it not because they need approval, not because they need other people on board. They don't need the clapping committee. They don't need people to, like, I don't even think they talk very much about what their plans are. They're a doer, not really a talker. And it's really interesting, though, because the things that they achieve are monumental. If this Aquarius didn't mention to anybody they got really interested in art, they could have, maybe that was part of what they were working on or something while they were getting over some toxic, relationship. And it's like, oh yeah, well, I decided to pick up a paintbrush and I painted some things. And now turns out I've got a museum show coming up. Oh, I didn't mention it. Well, yeah, that's because it just kind of happened. And it's like Aquarius could be the person who just starts doing stuff because it feels right to them, because it's a part of their path, their plan. Very, very, very independent person. There's nothing about this character that looks for the applause, which is the other thing that makes them so damn attractive, because they could be like beyond talented and they may have these hidden talents that one day they just randomly display, or somebody randomly finds out that Aquarius has had these like massive, moments of growth in their life, and they didn't ever mention that they were ever working on it. It's not to be secretive. It's just because it's not really anybody else's business. But that energy of, wow, this person makes a decision, goes after it, gets it done, does it well, and then later we find out about it. That is so like that quiet strength and that uniqueness and that sense of individuality, and that like there's no fuss, there's no muss. I don't need people to surround me and support me or give me advice. I just do what's right for me. No wonder that's very attractive. That kind of personal power is always attractive. By the way, we do have some strong Capricorn in this. We also have some strong, obviously, Aquarius, but some Leo, some Scorpio, and some Taurus coming in as well. And let's double down on the Taurus because we just got the Hierophant. I kind of think that everybody who meets this Aquarius recognizes that Aquarius is the real deal. They have a creed that they live by. Doesn't matter if it has nothing to do with what anybody else on earth believes. Aquarius has convictions. They follow their own heart or their own connection to their higher self, and they do what they think they should do. Again, they don't bother to argue with people. They don't bother to tell other people or go out and, try to convert others to the way they think. It's enough that they have personal convictions. And they're real. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, I have this belief system," but really it's the way they were raised, and then they just kind of like said, "Well, I guess I believe that too because I was raised in this." No, no, no. This Aquarius, and I'm not even talking about religion. This is, if we talk about somebody's creed, what they believe is important, the way they're choosing to live their life, what they believe they should do, how they should do it, when they should do it. It's all mapped out in their heart, their soul, and they actually follow through. And that's probably why they don't mention it to anybody else, because you don't have to. When you actually believe something and it's your business, you don't really go out and even think to tell other people about what your beliefs are, because you actually believe them. You're walking the walk, so you don't need to talk the talk. And I just kind of think that, again, this is very impressive. The things that Aquarius does, the things that they choose to do, the self-reliant energy, and also the ability to stick with what they want to do and follow through with it and just make transformations if that's what they feel is right. That is very impressive, because they're not out there showboating about it. That's what I would say. Okay, so who is attracted right now to Aquarius? I mean, I would say who wouldn't be, because they come across as very impressive. Hi, everybody. We have the Emperor. Very nice. So an Emperor is the creme de la creme of the entire, certainly of the major arcana. The Emperor and Empress are going to be our most empowered versions, because they've gone through being all of those pages, all of those knights, all of those kings and queens, and they have emerged at this true self-actualization. They too have a creed that they live by. They too, look, I'm saying game, recognize game. He sees this Aquarius, and he sees their power, and he sees that similarity, that spark of uniqueness, individuality, I don't care if the whole world disagrees with me, I know what I believe in. That kind of personal attainment of, confidence, it takes sometimes a lifetime to get there, to get to the energy of like trusting your own intuition and not budging no matter how many people agree or disagree with you. That is something that they really, I can see why they'd be attracted to this Aquarius. We have an 8 of Pentacles. They've been looking a long time for somebody like Aqua. This has been a long time coming. They maybe have, it's like they're getting all freshened up over here, right? Gotta slick back my hair, gotta look good. I want to talk to that Aquarius. I'm liking what I see over there. This could be a boss. This could be somebody who has learned what quality of person they're really dealing with. And they're like, damn, this Aquarius is an incredibly honorable, truthful, and personally responsible individual. This is somebody that I have tremendous respect for. This is somebody that I like working with, but there's a lot more than that. They're very, very attractive. And you notice that there's the glowing orb above his head. It's almost like, once you see somebody and you see their personal power and you see their talent and you see who they are as the essence of them, you're seeing their true being. That's sometimes when you fall in love with somebody. And it's like, oh my God, I'll never look at Aquarius again as my colleague or coworker or employee or employer. I'm in love with them. I'm attracted to them. Everything changes from here on out because I see them, because I see the real version of them. And that's the them that I'm attracted to. 5 of Cups, there's some tragedy here. I don't know if this is like a taboo situation. It could be one of those situations where it's like, you got to be kidding me. I'm seeing this amazing person in front of my eyes. And whatever, they're an employee. I can't date them. But that's my person. That's the person I'm attracted to. There's something here where it feels like such a bummer. Maybe that's why he looks so pissed off. His name could start with a T. It's a tomcat, and it just always makes me think of a T name. Of course, being a sci-fi fan, I want to go to Tiberius, of course. We have the Chariot. This almost feels like he's going to say, I got to stay away from this. Got to stay away from this Aquarius. I can't. This really sucks, but I have to stay away from them because I can't go down that road with them. It actually feels like somebody, look, an emperor doesn't usually sabotage. But if they know that what they'd like to do is to move forward with roses and romance and have a happily ever after and this loyal lifetime together, and they're thinking that's what I'm going to have to give up, they may disappear, go out of sight for a little bit as they mull over what to do. Because I feel like this is somebody who has had this epiphany that they're in love with Aquarius. And they're not supposed to be because, hey, we'd have to go talk to HR or, whatever the bit of taboo is there. Whatever reason they think there's no way that I can have this Aquarius, there's no way I can pursue them, but that's the first thing that I want to do. And I'm not going to be able to stop feeling the way I feel about Aquarius. All of this because if we go back to Aquarius' side on what makes him attractive, we have that Wheel of Fortune. I definitely feel like this is all kind of sudden shifts going on. So it would make sense to me that there's a sudden shift here as well. Eight of Swords. He's definitely withdrawing for a chunk of time. Aquarius might not see this person. If they typically see this person on the daily, all of a sudden they don't. They are intentionally withdrawing. And you don't notice now that this cat is sitting in their own shadow and they're like watching. I feel like this emperor is in deep thought. Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't unsee what I now have seen. But this is my person. This is the one I want. What am I supposed to do with this? Page of Wands. Page of Wands it's the energy of passion. But a page is just the spark of the ember. I'm wondering if they're trying to talk themselves around a mindset of maybe I can find a way to like begin something and see if Aquarius is interested in me as well. Oh God. So this person, man, they're getting all turned on. We got the Knight of Wands. But here's what I think their biggest problem is. How do I broach the subject that I'm interested without knowing if Aquarius is interested in me? How would I do that? How would I ask them, are they interested, if it seems like that's the blockage? But I feel like they already know. Emperors don't usually lie to themselves, right? They already know that they're going to be moving toward Aquarius. But they want to handle it with grace and with caution, but there's also this element where I don't think they can sit on this for very long. I don't think that they're the type of emperor who pussyfoots around. Forgive the pun since we're using a cat deck. 7 of Pentacles. I don't know. This feels like only about a week. In a week's time, they're going to have to go ahead and broach the subject of attraction or, asking Aquarius out or starting some kind of communication. They've got to start somewhere. Temperance. They would like to start with friendship, but make it clear that I think they want more than that. But I think that this person is like, they don't want to mess this up. They want Aquarius in their life no matter what. But still start at the very beginning. I know this is them walking the fine line between how do I handle this? How do I approach? I'm going to have to think through this because it needs to be handled, in a respectful manner. I don't want Aquarius to think that I'm leering at them or something, but I really want this Aquarius. Look, this is somebody who feels like they're already in love with Aquarius. And what do you do when the light bulb flips on and you know that you are nuts about somebody? That's the thing. Wild horses couldn't keep you back. Not really. Because you got to know how that thing's going to end. You got to know, is there a chance that they love me too? When that light bulb goes off and we start to see somebody in a different light, we know that's a person that's making our heart, pitter patter. He's going to move toward Aquarius. That's just all there is to it. And at least try to find out if there's a chance here. Let's take a look over here. Just any final message just coming from Aquarius. Aquarius is like emperor. The stony faced emperor, the person who I admire as well, is about to bust out of their stony faced energy and become flesh and blood and come toward me. Hell yeah. Bring that on. Yes. This is very interesting. So there has always been like a very I'll say, I'm picturing right now in my head like those big huge they're not even just bumpers, but like if you're driving down the highway, you'll have the divider, but then sometimes they also put like those big huge round, I don't know if they're filled with water or what, but like an extra layer of boundary so that the lanes are, you cannot get to the other side of the highway. You are very much staying in your lane. That is the way the energy has been between Aquarius and this emperor. And they're the ones who put that intact. And the fact that they are now wanting to like show emotion in their eyes, I feel like they've been nothing but cold and professional. And now that they want to show that they're alive, that they're human, that they have warmth, that they're about to express some kind of attraction and emotion for Aquarius, Aquarius is like, oh, hell yeah, bring that on. That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty sweet. There's nothing about a respectful, powerful individual showing me that they care about me that I'm going to say I don't like. This feels like Aquarius is going to really welcome this. That's beautiful. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me. All right, here we go. I'm going to pop on out of here. We're going to get to Pisces next, okay? I may not do Pisces live. I'm going to try to do Pisces and at least one other tonight still. And we still need to do a singles read, but Pisces is going to be first. All right, everybody. Hi, James. Thank you for being here. Always sending you positive vibes for sure. Patricia, great to see you, love. Hey, AC, Echo, Desert Entertainment Group. Hey, hey. Calm C. Hi, honey. All right, everybody. Lots of love. I'll see you guys again in a few minutes. All right. Bye for right now.